We light this candle to light our way as we journey to Jerusalem, the cross and the tomb. May its light strengthen us where the road is hard, embolden us when our hearts lose courage, and bring hope as the road grows dark. As we remember and share stories of faith, let us rejoice in the presence of God. Before our stories began, there was God. Through all our days, God walks with us. God's creative presence is moving among us. Let us dance with the God who frees us for new possibilities. Jesus invites us to a way of celebration, meeting and feasting with the humble and the poor. Let us walk his way with joy. Jesus beckons us to a way of risk, letting go of our security. Let us walk his way with justice. Jesus challenges us to listen to the voices of those who have nothing to lose. Let us walk his way with peace. Jesus points us to a way of self-giving where power and status are overturned. Let us walk his way with courage. Jesus calls us to follow the way of the cross, where despair is transformed by the promise of new life. Let us walk his way this Lent with faith. Amen.
Whatever my lot A reading from Matthew, chapter 18. Peter came up and asked Jesus, "When a sister or brother wrongs me, how many times must I forgive? 7 times?" "No," Jesus replied, "not 7 times. I tell you 70 times 7. And here's why. The kingdom of heaven is like a ruler who decided to settle accounts with the royal officials. When the audit was begun, one was brought in who owed tens of millions of dollars. As the debtor had no way of paying, the ruler ordered this official to be sold, along with family and property, in payment of the debt. At this, the official bowed down in homage and said, "I beg you, Your Highness, be patient with me, and I will pay you back in full." Moved with pity, the ruler let the official go and wrote off the debt. Then that same official went out and met a colleague who owed the official $20. The official seized and throttled this debtor with the demand, "Pay back what you owe me." The debtor dropped to the ground and began to plead, "Just give me time and I will pay you back in full." But the official would hear none of it, and instead had the colleague put in a debtor's prison until the money was paid. When the other officials saw what had happened, they were deeply grieved and went to the ruler, reporting the entire incident. The ruler sent for the official and said, "You worthless wretch! I cancelled your entire debt when you pleaded with me. Should you not have dealt mercifully with your colleague as I dealt with you?" Then in anger, the ruler handed the official over to be tortured until the debt had been paid in full. My Abba in heaven will treat you exactly the same way unless you truly forgive your sisters and brothers from your hearts.
Be still for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One is here. Come bow before him now, with reverence and with fear. In him no sin is found. We stand on holy ground. Be still for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One is here. Be still for the glory of the Lord is shining all around. He burns with holy fire, with splendor he is crowned. How awesome is the sight! How radiant King of light! Be still, for the glory of the Lord is shining all around. Be still, for the fire of the Lord is moving in this place. He comes to cleanse and heal, to minister his grace. No one too hard for him. In faith receive from him. Be still, for the power of the Lord is moving in this place. Be still, be still.
So many of our Lenten disciplines have traditionally revolved around the question, what are you giving up for Lent? That rather negative approach has always seemed to me to be a bit skewed from what we call the good news of the gospel. More positive, surely, is to ask, what are you doing to do extra, more of, up your levels of, for Lent? Our story today is a great example of how Jesus encourages us to up our levels, in this case of forgiveness. I've come to understand what Gandhi said about forgiveness. He described it as the ornament of the brave. It takes courage and great strength to forgive. It might even be the hardest thing we ever do, but it will bring a new sense of liberation that nothing else could ever touch. One common misconception about forgiveness concerns how long it takes. Is it a one-time thing, people would ask? Do you do it and then it's done? There's no answer to this, of course, since the process varies from person to person. Far from being a single earth-shattering accomplishment with an end point, forgiveness is more like a regular habit or practice, like being optimistic or mindful or patient. Sure, when it comes to forgiving someone for spilling their coffee on you in Starbucks, it might be over in a moment. But for the bone-rattling, soul-injuring wounds for which forgiveness is most important, it is a process that ebbs and flows, one that may feel completely at ease with one day and yet begin again the next. One especially thorny issue for many people is this: does forgiveness require reconciliation? And does it imply that you must feel warm and fuzzy and loving towards your former enemy or adversary? Researchers and therapists are divided in this, with some saying that neutrality is sufficient, while others argue that forgiving must literally mean loving your enemies. And from a certain perspective, both views are true. Neutrality, after all, allows someone to live peacefully, and it allows the forgiver to live peacefully too. Neutrality, in a way, is its own category of love. When you're neutral, you're doing no harm, and you're letting somebody be. And letting somebody be, free of your judgments or blame or rage, implies a certain level of respect and acceptance that that person, whoever she may be and whatever she may have done, is worthy of being here on this brutal and beautiful planet, just like you are. Is that not love? Accepting someone's intrinsic human worthiness, even when you may not like the person or want to spend holidays with them, certainly dovetails with the concept of agape, the type of love that in ancient Greek referred to a love extended to all people, whether strangers or family members, a love exemplified by Jesus. The Greek word was translated into Latin as caritas, the origin of the English word charity. And in Buddhism, the idea of metta, or universal loving kindness, is very similar to agape. For practical purposes, think about forgiveness as containing levels. We've all heard tales of extraordinary feats of forgiveness, from the Northern Ireland Troubles or Rwandan genocide, or mothers forgiving the murderers of their children, and we are, of course, awed by each of them. But we also wonder, is it necessary for everyone to take this process so far? To not only forgive, but also reconcile and even befriend an offender? People should never force forgiveness or even attempt it if they're not ready, much less reach out to whomever hurt them to reconcile just for the sake of it. But there is also a deeper truth here. The Jewish philosopher Maimonides said there were levels of giving. Well, so it is with forgiveness. The highest level of forgiveness just might be reconciliation, and even the kind of love one feels for a family member or a cherished friend. For those heroes of forgiveness, forgiving merely as a gift to ourselves, a way to unburden ourselves of pain, is a lower level of forgiveness. It keeps you separated in two worlds, one such person from Rwanda said. I live in my world and you live in yours, with a wall between. But true forgiveness means restoring relationship, recognising that it is one world. That is what allows us to pool resources and work together. Until we can all recognise our common humanity, not live as right and wrong, or black or white, or Rwandan and Congolese, but as humans who share so much, there will not be peace. Forgiveness is a personal process. It's heart to heart, person to person. But on a broader global level, you can't have reconciliation without forgiveness.
We light this candle in remembrance and hope, to call to mind Magnus and Ronald and all the saints, and all those dear to us who have gone before, especially those who have died in recent times. And as a sign of hope to future generations as yet unborn, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
A prayer. May the Spirit of Jesus, whose touchstone is the desert and the cross, be with us as we journey through the weeks of Lent. Lead us into the wilderness so that we may be driven to see, hear, and depend on that Spirit. May we see her in the faces of those who are in need, the fragile, the lonely and vulnerable, and those who are always there to support and care for them. May they feel her presence walking with them. May we see the Spirit in the faces of those who are without hope, the homeless and unemployed, those who will go hungry and thirsty today, and those who work selflessly to support and care for them. May they feel her love enfolding them. May we hear the Spirit in the voices raised in grief and despair, the sick in body and mind, the dying and the bereaved, and in the comforting words of those who support and care for them. May they feel her compassion encircling them. May we see and hear the Spirit in a world that struggles with war, poverty and injustice. In those who are victims of oppression and exploitation, and those who work tirelessly to bring peace, justice and equality to the nations. May they depend on her truth and faithfulness to make the kingdom come. We are invited to meet Christ in barren, lonely places where we will be tested. May we have the strength and resolve to bring comfort, support and love to others in their wilderness moments. Amen. Let us go out to our daily journey through life. As we do, may we fashion relationships of inclusion and reconciliation, and a lifestyle that loves and treats people and the earth gently, as God does. May you stay safe in the way of Christ, and may you be blessed by his Spirit this day and always. Amen.